what am I going to do with my life? What did I do to get here? What could I have done to prevent it? At the time, the father of my child was pushing me for an abortion, so I had part of me that was here saying, I have to do this and I want to, and the other half was saying, we can't. So it was very surreal for me to be here and have all these questions being asked and not know what to do at all. When I got here, they gave me a tour and they told me about all the things that they offered, like schooling and diapers and formula. Everything that they offered is what made me say this is what's best for me, but it's also what's best for my child. You know, they get clothes donated, so he would never go without clothes. They get formula, so he would never be hungry. We do activities that teach you about being a mom, and we have people that come in here, other girls that you can make such great bonds with and help each other through this hard time. And all those ideas of pretty much having a close-knit family with help was what made me decide that this was a good place. And so then they helped me go from cosmetology to CNA. And that's when, being here is what got me my CNA certification. We have a very long line of medical history in my family. My grandmother on my mom's side was the first female chief of paramedics in Coshocton, Ohio. And then my mom's older sister is an RN. And my mom is a medical assistant. And then my brother Sean was a flight medic for the National Guard. So I guess it's just part of our blood. Yes, my overall goal is to become an oncologist. I want to work with cancer, in adults, not pediatrics. That's too heartbreaking. But adults, I want to do that. But for now, my short-term goal in a wide view of things, because that takes 4 years, is RN. And I'm still deciding if I want to do labor and delivery RN or ER trauma RN. But I would tell them about all the friends that I made and all the babies that I got to love on that taught me how to be a good mom and taught me so much patience that I didn't have before. I would tell them about the birthday parties that they throw here because I was never throwing a birthday party when I lived at home. So turning 21 and having a birthday party was absolutely amazing to me.
So growing up, both of my parents, they were alcoholics. My dad still is, and my mom is 9 years clean, almost 10, but she struggles with mental illness. Both my parents were my dad was very abusive to my mom, and my mom went back and forth with him and my stepdad now. And I met my daughter's dad. He was 18 years old, and he was addicted to crack cocaine at 16. And he's now 2-3 months sober. He went from using crack to methamphetamines. I can't say personally what parents are like on those drugs, but with my parents being alcoholics and my daughter's dad being on drugs, words can't even describe the way it is. I grew up without food. I grew up without toilet paper. I grew up without electricity. I grew up without hot water. I grew up like that, and I wasn't going to raise my daughter like that. I didn't know how I was going to provide for my daughter, but I knew at least that I was not going to have an abortion, and I knew that I couldn't give her up for adoption. So I remember specifically the car ride to Mother's Refuge, I think was going down 40 highway. So I was like super, super nervous. And then when we pulled up to the neighborhood, I was super surprised because it was this huge, clean, heavenly house, And I walk in, and it was like, I see all these babies and all these girls that it just felt like where I was meant to be. And I went upstairs to the office with the case manager, and I told her my story. And mostly she wrote stuff down, but I just remember her pausing often because of all the things that I had to say, and she couldn't believe, and it was so nice to talk to a staff member that was just about helping I got to see the basement, which is huge. I got to see the rooms, which were, it's probably the cleanest, most nicest place I've ever been in my life. The staff, I miss them so much. The case manager was there, and at that time, none of the girls were there. They were at a group, I think, or at church or something. And she took me down into the little shop thing that they have, and she let me pick out everything that I didn't have, like shampoo and combs and just anything that I wanted, nail polish. Then she showed me my room, and everyone came home, and I introduced myself to all the girls, and it was just like my world had just changed within an hour. I realized that I had to be grateful for every single little thing. It was the shoes on my feet. It was the suitcase that I had of my daughter's stuff.
I first found out about Mother's Refuge when I was 15. I got pregnant, and I knew that I needed somewhere to go. I went to Advice and Aid Pregnancy Center, and they are the ones that gave me the information to Mother's Refuge. They told me that Mother's Refuge was a shelter that I could go to that would help me with my son and would allow me to go to school. I'm not sure exactly what was going through my mind when I first found out I was pregnant. I didn't know where I could go. I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to provide for my son. I didn't even have a place to live, so I didn't know how I was going to be able to get the things that I needed for him, for myself, and to prepare us for our future. I wasn't sure where I was going to be living. I didn't know how I was going to provide for my son. I didn't have anywhere to go. And when Mother's Refuge became an option to me, I realized that that was going to be the best thing for me and my son. They were going to allow me a place to live, and they were going to be able to, I would be able to continue school and provide for my son and get to keep him. But they also gave us classes on how to take care of our children, parenting classes, financing classes. We had people from different organizations that would come in and help coach us in life skills. The staff at Mother's Refuge, I became really close with a few of them. They really helped guide me, became almost like my friend, and helped me with the tough decisions on what I was going to be doing work-wise in the future, where I was going to be living once I left Mother's Refuge, kind of helping me, guiding me, and being my parents when I didn't have my parents with me. I had no concept of money. I didn't know how to cook a meal. I wouldn't be able to microwave anything at age 15 or 16. They helped me learn how to apply for a job. They helped me get into programs to help me in high school so that I would be able to graduate on time. They helped me learn how to maintain a household, how to clean my house, how to cook for my children, how to take care of my children. I had no idea. I didn't know, had never had to change a diaper before. I never had to give a baby a bath before. I don't even think I was making my bed before I left my mom's house. So they really helped me prepare for what was ahead for me. When I was leaving Mother's Refuge to be on my own, I was nervous. I didn't know what to expect being on my own, but at the same time I was prepared. I knew that I would be able to handle it. I knew that I had the tools. I had a good solid foundation of the things that I needed in order to be able to live on my own with my son. I feel like Mother's Refuge helped me prepare myself for the next chapter in my life after leaving Mother's Refuge. Shortly after I graduated high school, and I attained a job at a dental office as the receptionist, and I just continued that career and built up. I became a dental assistant. I now manage I now manage a dental office in Independence. I I got married. I have 2 other children. I have 3 boys total. My oldest son is 18, just turned 18. He will be graduating. I'm going to get emotional. Things are going really good. I am married. I have 3 children total. My oldest son just turned 18. He will be graduating this year. He is planning on going to college. He's looking at University of Nebraska-Lincoln. And my other 2 sons are in school. I work at a dentist office in Independence. We moved to Lee Summit, and we've been there for about 10 years now. So things are going really good. I recently went back to school for business management. I think looking back at everything definitely was a journey. It was definitely a tough journey, but I'm glad that I went through, and I'm glad that I had caring people there to help me along the way. I honestly do not know. I don't know what would have happened. I don't know where I would be if I did not have caring people along the way. I don't know if I would have had my son, if I would be able to keep my son, if I didn't have a place like Mother's Refuge, if I didn't have the staff members there helping me, if I didn't have caring people donating their time and their money and their supplies to Mother's Refuge. So thank you. I feel great about the future. I'm looking forward to seeing my son graduate. I'm really hoping that he would get into the university that he wants to go to and finish the program that he wants to do. I'm looking forward to my other sons graduating too. When you're donating your time and your money and you're not sure if it's making a difference, I am the difference.